Good morning.
Happy this morning.
We are very happy. Thank you so much. We've had so many new subscribers, absolutely overwhelmed. So
yes,
welcome all of you.
Welcome to Think Alive. If you've missed the last couple of videos, we've been working on our courtyard. Absolute killer the last 3 days. My stomach muscle is still like singular that. It's still aching. But we're still carrying on with the courtyard, but no courtyard. Our superb outdoor living space is complete without a barbecue.
Not only a barbecue, but a smoker. A combi.
And where do we get these from? We're going to make it. And hopefully we're going to get it done in this video. Yeah. So we better crack on. Right, so what are we going to make this barbecue smoker out of? Well, we're going to start by tidying up the outside a bit and get rid of this horrible red monstrosity, because this is going to be the barbecue bit, the top bit, the main engine of it, I suppose. So it's upside down because it's a propane bottle, and propane's heavier than air, so hopefully it'll all run out. So what I'm going to do first, I'm going to take the valve off it because I don't want any sparks anywhere near it. It's not easy with this thing on, but I put a big piece of threaded rod in there. I'm going to put a bar on it, and sometimes they come out, sometimes they don't easily at all. So let's have a go. So the first thing you've done is wedge the bar through the handle to stop it spinning, and I'm going to try and put this bar on here and attempt to crack it open. I've got it tight though. Right, that's not working, just bending that. Try it in the tube. Not one for being defeated, but crikey, ideal it was. I managed to get it with a big adjustable and a hammer to smash the tap to pieces to get access to get a good grip on it. But it's coming slowly now. A 32nd of a turn at a time. There we got it, we've got him. We've got him. Right, get away. Right, what I'm going to do now is fill it up with water. Right, okay, well that didn't take long, only about an hour and a half more than expected. But by filling it full of water, it ensures then that every bit of gas is purged out of it. And it might seem like a waste of precious water, but it's better than blowing yourself to smithereens if the gas is in there and does explode. So now we can get to work on it. Right, it's empty. It's in position now on our trusty bench. The first thing I want to do is remove the stand from the bottom and the flange that's on the top. I'm just going to cut them off with a plasma cutter. Then I'll probably have to go over the welds that remain with the angle grinder to smooth them all down so it all looks nice and neat. So I'm going to fire with the generator because I've got to run the massive compressor and the plasma cutter, and it's too much for a normal house system, never mind our solar setup. It's not liking that at all. Probably a bit tough to go through the welds, so I'm going to have to grind them off. It's going to take a while. I've got this held in place by 2 strong magnets, by the way, in case you're wondering, so it can't roll about. Right, let's get them cut. And get my glove on. One disc gone already. I've done 1, 2, 3, 4 cuts. Thick stuff that. So no problem, we'll just pop another one on. I've got plenty, keep a good supply of them. And we'll carry on. Battery's overheated, just at the last minute. Crikey. Right, we'll give it a minute, get that off, and then we'll get the top off. Voila! So the next thing we want to do is just round these welds down that were where the bottom was welded to it and that. I'm not going to take them off completely, I can't be bothered, but I'm just going to round them off so they're not sharp or offensive. In fact, looking at them, they might come off with a cutting disc and they're not quite as thick as I thought. We'll have a go. Rightio, there we go. Both sides done. Nice and smooth enough. By the time it's painted and it's been used several times, no one will know or care. Right, what's next? Right, so what do we do next? I'm going to cut the door. What I'm going to do, I'm going to make it that wide because that's just an inch either side, 50mm total. Narrower than I'm hoping to use. I don't know if I said this before. The two grills on our existing barbecue, we've got a plate and then a griddle, and the normal bar type thing, cast iron. Very nice. I'm hoping, I think that I can get them to fit in here. So I'm going to cut my door. They should do. I know it looks a bit of an odd shape. So I'm probably actually thinking about it now. I'm going to cut a slightly longer piece. To the exact width of my two plates, so if they don't quite fit they'll stick out a little bit and it won't be an issue. I mean they are down to quarter of an inch, 5-6 mil, that's all. So yeah, thinking about that, I'm going to do that. What I'm going to do, I'm going to cut the top of my door, just one cut, then I'm going to weld the hinges on to it, and then I'm going to cut the rest of my door out. That way, doing it that way, once you've cut the rest of it out, you don't have to bother about trying to hold your door in place and get the hinges in the right place and everything, because you've done it already. So, right, I'll go and cut a piece of this first, a longer piece, thinking about it, get it right. Right, so there it is, I've actually got a slightly wider piece. What I'm going to do, I'm going to centralise that on there, level it with the spindle level, tack it to the barrel, and then that'll give me a really nice guide for my plasma cutter. Then afterwards I can use this as the lip that the door will close against to help stop any heat escaping or anything, to help. So the first thing I need to do is just grind off a bit of this paint roughly where it wants to be so my weld will take to it. Where's my grinder? So I'll just put a pen mark on it. I'll get my pen. Right, so with my marks on, I'm just going to use a flat disc to take the paint off. Right then, where's my torch? Here it is. Too many leads and cables and things there will reach to there. I'm not starting the generator because it's only a little spot weld and I'm not using a lot of power. We'll get him where we want him, got the level on it, lovely, I'll do, and tack him on. On there. It just reaches. Right, there we go. So now I've got a good, perfect dead straight line, I could run my plasma torch down. Turn this off for a minute. He goes on there. Now we need the generator on. Let's see. Get through here. Right, so I'm just going to grind this off now, and here we've got a nice clean cut. So there we go, very nice. Next, I'm going to stick my hinges on. I'm going to measure and mark where I want them. I think that's 70. Yeah. So I'll have them at, what, let's try 60, 10 at that end. Yeah, that'll be pretty good. So I'm just going to draw around them, again, roughly, loosely. And then get more paint off, so I can weld them on. Right, so get this rubbed off. Right, okay, there we go. 2 hinge bits cleaned up. I've just gone over the rest of this lightly. I'm not taking all the paint off. It's pretty good paint actually, but some of it looks like it's had several coats over the years. Didn't realise I did that. But I've just run over it lightly. I'll do it all at some point as I go round it, just to get the loose stuff off, so when I paint it, it'll have a good key and good solid paint underneath it. So anyway, now we're ready to weld the hinges on, but that's going to be in the morning because it's that time again. To be honest, I've had enough for today, so I'll see you immediately back when it'll be tomorrow morning. Right, okay, we're back. I didn't bother with the clean t-shirt today, just going to get filthy again anyway. Right, let's get these hinges on. It helps if you turn the welder on. Because it's curved, obviously, we need to bend the hinge to meet the barrel. Once you've got a couple of tacks on it, it's dead easy. So I'll get this bottom one in. Right, okay, so the hinges are on. Lovely. There's actually, I was going to cut the door this way, but there's actually a big weld across here which the cutter will struggle through. So to keep it neat, I'm going to spin it around and have the door that way. It doesn't matter, a hinge is a hinge. Move the magnets. Good magnets. Right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to position the hinges so they're right at the top, and then I'm going to cut the rest of the door out to like a quarter of it, if that makes sense. So get sorted out. Righto, so I've got him exactly where I want him. What I'm going to do, same as I did on that one, I'm going to weld this on the curved piece to the side there. Burn down that side, cut down that side. Then do the same on this side. And then I'm going to join the dots together at the bottom. That's the theory anyway. So, get on with it. Leave him there a minute. And fire the generator up again. Right, so both my sides are cut. This bottom one I've just held in place with magnets, and I'm going to cut across the bottom now. And this magnet is my door handle temporarily. I've wedged a blade in there, just hopefully it won't drop in. But if it does, I've got to get it with this. So I'll get this last one cut. Rightio, we're in. It's not very pleasant in there at all, but yeah, it will be soon. Right, first thing I want to do now is check if my grills will fit. I might actually need to put a handle on it as well. So I'm going to go and get them and yeah, just to check before we go any further. Oh, would you look at that? Absolutely perfect. I can even lift them up a little bit. I don't know if I have explained exactly what I am making. I know I said a smoker and barbecue, but what it's going to be is going to be a separate firebox under this end, lower down, that you put a fire in. Then that sends the smoke up through the smoker, and you put a big chimney on this end, and it draws the smoke through, smokes your food. Also, you can use it obviously as a traditional barbecue. Just chuck your stuff in there, and yeah, it's happy days really. I looked at doing like reverse smokers and things like that, but I think the most practical for us is just a standard, standard offset smoker, I think they call them, with the firebox, and then you can use it completely separately as a barbecue, should you so wish. So I hope that helps. you can kind of see what it's going to be. Right, super happy days. The next thing to do is just clean up all these edges, again just with the flat disc, make them all nice and pretty, or prettier. Right, I think the next thing I want to do, it's obviously going to need a stand, but I'm going to build a stand separately, because I want to put a little shelf on it and stuff like that, and fancy things, and plus it'd be too heavy to move a stand with this and the firebox as well. So what I'm going to do with this thing, the ring I cut off the bottom, I'm going to see if I can cut it to make two, well, half moons or whatever that it'll sit in to stop it moving, and then I can weld this to my frame and perhaps just put a couple of bolts through to, when it's in situ, its final resting place, because we're never moving from here, to hold it in place, if that makes any sense at all. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut a quarter out of this and see, because I'm not sure about the radius, is it the curvature of it, because it was underneath. So the easiest way to see is to cut it out and find out, innit? It's unusual, but let's see if it works. Oh dear, the things we do. So far so good. Right, I'll get them cut out. We'll have a look. Do you know what? It's not an exact same curvature, but it'll do. Right, I'm going to cut another one. Right, so moving on. this is going to be our burner bit for it. It's actually a fire I made ages ago that we had in our last place. Only a little one, but it's even got a little window in it, so we'll be able to see what's going on. And I'm going to put a tray in it so to get the charcoal and wood burning, but we'll come to that in the future. And it's got a valve on it so I can control the heat that goes into this. What I need to do though is cut a hole in this for that to go through, then I can weld the two together. Obviously I don't want a hole too big because that would be disastrous, because they'll have to be filling big gaps, which you can do with a MIG. But so right, I'm going to just draw around it the best I can, and we'll cut it same as we did before with the plasma cutter. If I can find my pen, and keep our fingers crossed to see what happens. Right, so if you can see that, there's me very elliptical circle. The reason I want to put the firebox on first before I build the stand, or build that stand for it, because it's going to be a lot easier to work on when it's on a stand on the floor. But I want to see where the balance is, because that's quite heavy, and obviously we don't want it tipping, especially when it's in action, because it's all going to be red hot and severely dangerous. So obviously we want it sturdy. So I'm going to put the firebox on first, and then we can work out its balance point and see how it's at. So there's my mark. I've got a bit ground off already where I can start. Once you get started, it just goes through the paint. We'll fire the Jenny up and get our hole cut out and see what happens. I'm going to actually do it slightly smaller. If I've got to nick it out with the grinder after, because I want it as tight a fit as possible, so I've not got big gaps, because sometimes things like this you can get obscure gaps and we don't want to be filling them. So let's get it done. There we go. Right. I've actually got another one which is going on the other end, so we can control the flow through both ways. So you can go in, oh look at that. So if that goes in, I'm assuming I'm going with the fire on. So we'll have a look and get it set up again. Right, look at that, it's in. Valve works. Not a bad joint actually, not too bad. So I reckon I'll probably put a couple of spot welds on it first, and then roll it over to make it easier to weld up rather than trying to struggle under there. So yeah, happy days. Right, so far so good. That bit's done. I think next I'm gonna put the valve on the back, get all the burning bits out of the way. I think, although there'll probably be more. Cool. I perhaps should have explained a bit better earlier. I'm not very good sometimes. These grills that I've got are actually off our existing gas barbecue. There's this one, and then there's a solid plate. So yeah, and they fit in perfectly, so that saved us quite a bit. Right, I've marked this front. It was a lot easier because it's straight and flat. I'm going to cut this out now and see if we can get that one welded in. Excellent. Right, where's my bit? Let's see if it fits. Oh! Oh! No, it'll go that way, won't it? Where it's supposed to go. Fabulous. Right, excellent. We just need to position it where we need to think about where we want the valve to be at. So that side's easy, but we'll have a think about this one. Right, it's coming along. Have I ever thought I could finish this in a 30-minute video? Must be crazy. But we've got our basic thing. I've put one lip on the inside of here, and I think I need to make the stand for it next to make it a bit more accessible, a little bit lower because it's a bit high up there. But we've got our firebox in place with our valve to control the heat that goes in and out. We've got the valve on the other end to control the what escapes and what doesn't up the chimney. I can't open the lid because my magnet's not on it. We've got our lid, we've got our basic box, fantastic. So, yeah, it's all looking pretty good. It's massive factor, it's going to be huge. Really excited, we can't wait to get it done. So thank you so much for watching. We're going to be doing part 2, which will be on Sunday. So tune in to see hopefully the final finished thing.